Yo, what's going on, everybody? If you guys are in here right now, you are probably at the close to end part of my webinar, my masterclass, or you're probably seeing this from YouTube. But it is a huge honor to bring on one of the guests, one of my students who has done almost $500,000 so far after taking the program and really just implementing the same things that you guys are learning and are going to learn from me in the near future here. My guy, Wesley. Wesley, how are you, bro?
I'm good. How you doing, Tez, man? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. No problem. So real quick, before we get into, the deep dive of this interview, I want to ask you like a little bit about more about you, how you stumbled upon me, how you even got into the e-commerce space, what your business is. Go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you.
All right, so my name's Wes. Wesley, you can call me Wes. From Boston, Mass. Actually, just moved to Dallas a few months ago. I found you just scrolling through IG, man. I remember the post you and your daughter. You had the do-rag. I think it was a Valentine's Day or Christmas post.
Mhm.
I think you had a pink, red do. You had a bunch of do-rags, man. And I've always been like a waver since middle school.
Mhm.
So I'm like, damn, that's something I like to do too. I Back then you could only really get black, white do-rags at like the local beauty supply. So it was a no-brainer for me. I actually started off with brushes though.
Mhm.
Started off with brushes. But yeah, it was a no-brainer, man. And do-rags, I'm like, that's my wave already. So
Mhm.
let's do it.
That's
And then
fire.
I did it, man. But yeah, it was really you that pushed me, man. I don't even know you. Like my first time talking to you. Appreciate it, man.
Yo, that's
Appreciate
love,
that.
man. So you have basically a hair company or a do-rag brand slash brush brand. And
Mhm.
what's the name of your business?
Ocean Motion. I got satin line hats too.
Hey, going
Satin
crazy.
inside there, but yeah, just it's all just natural hair care. That's kind of what we promote, like for people like us.
Yo, and how long have you had that business for now?
I started during the pandemic, so about two years, 2 years,
Two
two and a
years
half
now?
years. Yeah,
So in 2 years, how much have you done in sales so far with your brand?
close to about 500,000.
Close to 500,000.
Yep. I
So,
also sell on Etsy. I sell on my website too, and I recently just signed up for Fair. That's like a wholesale
mm,
fulfillment. I'm trying to get into that too. Just I'm trying to get my stuff in barbershops, everything.
hey, bro, that's huge. That was actually something that we were looking at 2 years ago. So the same
Really.
stuff that you were looking at right now, we were trying to figure out 2 years ago, but there was really no platforms and things like that to help with those things.
Yeah.
But it's dope to hear that you're actually transitioning into that because that's where you're going to make a bulk of your money at by offering it wholesale to
Hmm.
other people for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, you laid the blueprint, so appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
Laid
So
that down
let's
for me.
talk about it real quick. With you taking the program, and learning the things that you've learned, what would you say was your biggest fears before you got into this and before you even jumped into my program or any of those things?
My biggest fear is probably like everybody else, just starting. People really get stuck on that. That's the hardest thing for people to do is just to start.
Mm.
Just one night, it was probably I say like 2 in the morning. I had to wake up for work at 6. I just randomly bought 500 brushes on Alibaba, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Kiss the money goodbye. I was probably gonna spend it on bullshit anyway. Let's just do it. I bought brushes and I just started selling them on eBay and Etsy. That's what I started off on.
Mm.
I probably made my site 2 or 3 months later. But yeah, eBay and Etsy is where I really started, and I started getting sales. And I was just like, oh, ever since I sold that first brush, and it was a wrap after that.
Bro,
I'm like, dang, I can really do this.
I always tell people it's like it only takes you selling that first one for you to see that it's
That's
possible.
real.
Yeah.
It's real. That's really
So
how it is.
with you starting on Etsy and eBay, how big of a difference did it make for you to transition into Shopify and take your brand on Shopify?
It wasn't a different because that's what I wanted eventually. Like
Mm.
I already knew I was going that route, but starting out, I was like, okay, Etsy, eBay's free. Let's just see if I can move a few of these. So once I started selling a few, I was like, yeah, let's start the website.
So what advice would you have for people who are watching this right now and they're nervous about getting into Shopify or getting into e-commerce? Like, what would be a tip that you could give them, or even experience that you've had that would help them realize, like, yo, this is literally the best option for you right now?
I would say this that first brush. You sell that one thing, and it's gonna change your life. That's all it takes is one thing. You sell one of something that you put your all into. Like I sat there, I created my logo myself. I branded everything. I did everything myself.
Mm.
That first person bought it, I was like, oh yeah, this is real. I can really do this. I changed my mindset completely.
So it was
Completely.
really
It was
just a
like
mindset shift.
yeah, it was just like I sold that first brush and it was just like a switch. Like I was no longer a consumer after that.
Right.
It was just straight up like, oh yeah, I'm a sell or be sold. Grant Cardone has a book called that. Sell or be, I mean, and that's really what it is. That's America.
That's
If you're not
literally.
selling nothing, you're being sold something.
Hey, that America's a big business. And I
It's a
always
big
tell
business.
people, especially the people who are watching this now, because they probably either watch this on YouTube or they're watching this right now in one of my classes. I always
Yeah,
try to tell people, sometimes, or not even sometimes, primarily, we need to start focusing. Doesn't matter what community, doesn't matter if you're a minority or not. We need to learn how to switch the cash register around. Instead
that's
of us
right.
always being in front of it, we need to learn how to be behind it. And it's an extremely important thing to do right now, especially with the trajectory that e-commerce is going in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So literally since I think we've been almost 5xing the amount of total global sales online as opposed to retail stores. And I tell people all the time, it's like nobody really wants to go in stores no more. Like
That was
everybody
me.
is using all these different apps. Like majority of people who start in e-commerce actually start on Shopify. And I told people this in the class, if they're watching it right now, with me being a new Shopify partner, they only accept 19% of people who actually even
Yeah,
apply for this. So with that being said, I always try to tell people like turn that cash register around, learn how you can start selling something. The dopest thing about I think what I'm doing right now is that my program isn't directly for just clothing brands, even though I'm known as a clothing brand guy, is really an e-commerce brand in general. Whatever type of online business you want to have, we need to learn how to brand it because that's the only way that it's going to be able to sustain COVID, recessions, and be able
that's
to be
right.
passed down to generations after us with a real brand. It has to be remembered. So with all of that being said, what was a struggle that you overcame when it came to building out your brand? And for the most part, a lot of people are going to be able to learn from your struggles because they're watching this and they're like, I don't know if I really want to do this right now. I don't really know if e-commerce is for me. I'm kind of curious and things like that. So what would you tell those people in a little bit about your experience as well?
I would say my biggest struggle at first is you can sell a rock if you know how to market it. I had no marketing experience at all whatsoever, and I wasn't even on Instagram. I used it when like first came out. I stopped using it years ago. So when I started the brand, that's when I got back on Instagram. I had to learn everything, Facebook, all that. I had to relearn all that stuff. So I was really starting from ground zero. That was definitely my biggest. I mean, still now, like I wish I had that. I wish I had what you had. Like you nasty with it. But like being in front of the camera, you got that shit down pat. But
That's
I'm still learning. Like I just got on TikTok. I'm probably at 800 followers, but just being consistent and just posting. Like I listen to you, Shaq. I know you got a YouTube video.
mm,
I think it was Kayla and Justin and I forget the other guy's name.
Sharif.
Sharif, yeah. And I think Shaq was saying just like post, like, and that was my thing. I'll post once a day. That's really not enough.
Yeah, facts. I
Really
tell
not
people
enough,
that.
especially to get into these algorithms. I'm learning about all that stuff now. Like I'm on YouTube every night, just trying to hone my skills. Like marketing is like really where it's at. You really got to learn that.
So let
I
me
would say
ask
if
you.
you're in school now,
Oh, go ahead.
you should probably get into marketing because having that ability to sell is that's how you get paid.
It's essential. That's where the big
It's
money is
essential.
made.
It really is.
So let me ask you this. You've made almost $500,000 with your brand.
From my
And
house,
and you said all in-house?
from my house on my phone,
From your house, from your phone. That's
my
that's
phone.
insane, bro. And that's all from taking a program, like one program and really just implementing it.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. With you making close to $500,000, I have you and three other students are very, very close to $1 million right now. So you guys
So
are some of my first students to ever reach 1 million. We have I think 17 or 18 people now at over six figures, after taking my programs and really just implementing it and to see the lives that are being changed is just, I never thought, I just thought I was just putting things out into the world, just giving you the game so I don't get as many DMs. And I ended up solving so many problems, but changing so many lives.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you this, with you building a brand like that, what did that first year look like for you? Because I think people think when I teach and I make it look good and I make it sound good, and it's broken down in a way where it's very understandable regardless of your age.
Yep.
What did your first year look like? Because I want people to understand, like, you can really change your life in 2 years or less if you just stick to your script. So can you talk a little bit about what your first year looked like, and your results your first year compared to your second year?
Oh, most definitely. So I actually have the screenshots of like my results. So the first year, I would say January, I made about $300 Shopify.
Wow. You mind sharing it on your screen?
Let me.
Here, I just passed you host, so you should be able to share screen now. Dope to show people like the overall like first year compared to like, or maybe even first month, first year, and then total where you're at right now in Shopify.
The total is kind of screwed up because I went from Shopify to WooCommerce, then
Gotcha.
back to Shopify. I actually just got back on Shopify. Hold on, let me find those files. Where did I put them? I'm gonna find them. Motion boom right.
And while he's finding that, guys, if you guys are watching this again, please make sure you guys are dropping questions in the chat, or drop them at the bottom in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Again, there is no dumb questions. I personally believe that every question is a valuable question, but you just need an answer to it. You need guidance. So if you have any questions, please make sure you guys are dropping them down below. And again, make sure you guys, I'll make sure Wesley leaves his, or Wes, I apologize. I'll make sure he leaves his social media and everything at the end of this interview, so you guys can go back and go tap in and follow him and support his brand and what he has going on as well.
Where did I put them? Yeah. Clearly got to clean up this desktop.
No, you good, bro.
I say the first month was probably like 800. No, 300, then 800 the next month, February. I think March is when I started doing the scenario method. And then it was like, it just took off.
Lights out after that.
The lights off. After I started running ads on Facebook, it took off.
Yeah, Facebook ads. I try to tell people, a lot of people are very nervous in actually getting into that. Can you talk a little bit while you're finding that? Can you talk a little bit about your experience with ads and how it's kind of just changed everything for your brand?
Yeah, those ads it's really where it's at. It was literally like the day after I started running ads, I started getting consistently, I was making like $500 daily in sales off of like $80 in ad spend.
That's crazy. So for those of you guys who don't know that means he was spending $80 and making $500 back on the money that he was spending daily on Facebook ads. And again, these are things that I teach within the scenario method. So if you guys are in the class and you jumped in the program, that bonus is included. So you guys will be able to have access to that same exact program that he had to scale with Facebook ads as well.
Here we go. Found it.
Perfect.
All right, let me screen share. I forget how to use Zoom.
Yeah, so
here we go.
Yeah, you got it.
Yep, multiple time. I haven't been working a real job since 2020. I forget how to use these things.
So you haven't worked a job in 3 years now?
Actually quit 2021, my fault.
2021, so 2 years.
Yeah.
That's insane, yo.
2 years. Can you see that?
Yes, sir. We can see it now.
All right. Yeah. So this was January 2021, 7:30. I kind of undersold myself. This is February, 8:44.
Jeez, hold on.
This is March.
Jump.
Yeah. So I went from 800 to 4,000 the very next month after I started running ads.
Wow. And then what was that next month after that? Or is that just a different screenshot? 17,000 a
That's
month
June. Hold
later.
on, I went too far. Where's April? These are not in order. So April, 4,000. I mean 8,000. Oh, that was my total. And before I went to WooCommerce, 98 for the year.
Hey, that's insane, bro. And then you went from 4,000 to 16,000, and then in June you went to what?
June, I was at 17.
Yo, that's insane. So you
And before
did,
I switched over, my total was 98,000.
yo, that's actually insane, yo.
Selling
Sheesh.
durags.
And just off durags. And
Durags.
again, I try to tell people these things like it is extremely possible for you guys to make this work with whatever type of brand, because in these programs that I'm teaching, it's not solely based on one thing. It's really
Yeah.
teaching you the technique, the strategy, and the branding portion and marketing that you need to know, along with how to get those sales. So, for you being in this for about 2 years, going on 3 years soon here, what thing would you tell yourself when you first got started? Like before you jumped in my program, what thing would you have told yourself if you could go back in the future or go back in the past and talk to yourself?
Oh, I would have started doing this when I was 18. No doubt. I'm 30 now. I would have started this years ago. Years ago. And that goes for people that's older than you. What are you, 24 now?
Yeah, just turned 24.
I mean, he's a youngin' with game. Just follow the game. You can learn from somebody young too. I'm 30. I'll be 31 in April. Come on, man. Youngin' got the game.
Bro,
He
that's
got the game,
crazy.
man.
So let me ask you this as well. There's
Yep.
people who are, let's just say, they're a little nervous as far as getting into my program. Like they may think this is something that is offered anywhere they can just find on YouTube. What would you have to say for people like that? Since you are a person who's made close to $500,000 with your brand and you took these programs, what would you say about that? Just in your own opinion.
I would definitely say, like, don't be afraid to be coachable. You definitely learn from, like, I learned from you just from seeing your ads on Instagram. I took a chance on myself, took a chance on you. There are a lot of people selling bullshit, but fortunately, you're not one of them. So he won't lead you in the right direction at all. I almost up 500K off durags.
Mhm.
That's a low ticket item. I'm actually starting my clothing line now, where I'll have like higher margins. But yeah, durags are low ticket items. Just take a chance on yourself. That's really it.
Man,
He's not gonna lead you astray. Come on, you seen
that's
the
love.
numbers. You see the numbers. First from my phone. Like, I was in Boston when I started. I'm in Dallas now. I was able to just pack up my inventory and just move because I
Mhm.
can. No, there's no job holding me down. Like, I'm not anchored down where I was. You gave me a taste of freedom, honestly. If I'm being real, and I appreciate it.
Bro, that's crazy, bro. I'm just happy I was able to help you, bro. Like again, this is what I do for a living. Is I
Mhm.
try to get as many of these types of stories out there as possible. And I just want to give you your flowers publicly because again, bro, for you to take action not only on taking the risk, but actually heavily focusing on implementation and not
Yeah,
waiting around for somebody to come do things for you, you've allowed yourself to open doors up to freedom. And I think that will be the number one thing that anybody could ever ask for whenever you jump into any program or any
that's
group
right.
or community or anything. It's just freedom. So, with all of that being said, I know you're a part of Limitless Investments now. And I know you were a part of it before. Can you talk a little bit about why people need community, especially if you're a minority and you're watching this right now? A lot of the people around you right now do not think the way that you would want them to think in order to grow a business. So
Tell me
can you
about it.
talk a little bit about the importance of community and being inside of a community like Limitless Investments and being a part of Limitless Gang and how this can change somebody's mindset, but also their income and their perception of how they view money?
I mean, you are who you hang around. So in your real life, you might not have nobody who's trying to start a business. Like, I didn't.
Mm,
So your compete is just being around like-minded people. Surround yourself with the people who are doing the things that you want to do. It only makes sense. If you hang around with bums, if you hang around with four bums, you're gonna be the fifth one.
facts.
So join Limitless. Come on, it's 9,000 people who's trying to like make something of themselves. Why not?
Hey,
It
Like I said,
works.
it just works. But it doesn't
Works.
work unless you work. And
It
that's what
doesn't
I
work
want.
unless unless you got to execute though. That's the thing.
Got to. So if you guys are watching this right now, I really hope that Wes's story was able to inspire you. Like you haven't worked a job and you said since 2021, it's almost 2 years
2021,
now.
pandemic.
2 years, you work for yourself, you wake up when you want, you obviously still get orders every day. So you still, working for yourself and working with your business. But
Get paid while you sleep.
yep, you get paid while you sleep.
It's
Again,
beautiful.
it's a statistic like you sleep 24% of your life. Why would you not learn how to go make money during that time? And you've unlocked that, bro. So I wanted to tell you, I appreciate you as well for jumping on here. Can you also let people know where they can find you at? He's also in the Discord community as well, guys. So he's under our VIP tab. If you guys ever wanted to reach out to him, he'll be in the Discord. But can you go ahead and plug in all of your social medias, everything for people to tap in with you?
All right. So my brand's Ocean Motions at oceanmotion.store. And my personal is Worldwide West. That's WXRLDWIDE West _. Actually, I'm gonna give you a follow on that account too right now.
Perfect. Well, Wes, man, I want to say not only do I want to give you a huge congratulations because you're definitely on the way to $1 million, but I want to say more importantly, we appreciate you for coming on here and sharing your story because again, I only want to shine light on the people who actually implementing it and not just, doing it just to say they're doing it. I mean, you're doing it because you want freedom for yourself and you wanted to change things for your situation. And that's exactly what you did. So I wanted to give you your flowers publicly. And I hope the people who are watching this right now can be inspired and motivated to jump into this program, to jump into Limitless, to jump in and just start anything. Even if you don't jump in, just make sure you start something. And I wanted to give you your flowers publicly, bro. So I wanted to say thank you, man, for coming on here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your efforts and just keep killing it, bro. I mean, if you did 500K, you know what I'm gonna say. If you can do 500K, you can do 5 M's. So
that's right.
It ain't nothing but a matter of time and more consistency and building out those systems.
And that's what it really is. It really is consistent. People say that all the time, but that's really what it is. You just got to be consistent.
Absolutely.
That's really all it is. Consistency.
I agree 1000%. So guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure you guys tap into So You Want to Build a Brand. Also, make sure you guys tap into Limitless Investments, the #1 e-commerce brand Discord server in the world. Over 9,000 members. I think we just crossed 9,400 members. We're gaining about 200 to 300 members every single week. Why would you not want to be a part of a community who actually wants to see you do good?
Right.
It's up to you. So with that being said, Wes, I just want to say thank you again, bro. We appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and close out today's interview right here. We appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me.